Welcome to Viral Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a mystery drama and action movie called Last Seen Alive. Spoilers incoming. Let's get right into it. The movie opens with a scene in a car with Will and Lisa, his wife, where they chat about their relationship. It appears they are going through rough times and she wants a break. Will is driving her to her mother's house where she will make up her mind and make her decision. They stop at a gas station because the car is running low on fuel. While Will is filling the car, Lisa goes inside to use the toilet and buys a bottle of water. When she exits the gas station, a man approaches and we can see her following him to his car. Will starts to worry after some time passes by and his wife doesn't come back to the car. He tries to call her but she doesn't answer. Then he goes inside to search for her. He checks the bathroom, then asks the cashier if he recalls seeing her, but he denies. After calling her name out loud in the parking lot, he gets inside his car and starts driving around in circles looking for her, but she's still nowhere to be found. Then he goes inside again to ask the cashier for the address of the gas station and calls 911 to report his wife missing. Detective Patterson picks up the call and calms him down. He says he'll send someone as soon as possible or even come himself if needed. Will then gets inside his car and drives to her parents' home, which is just 5 miles away. When he gets there, Lisa's parents, Barry and Anna, look confused about why he's coming without her. Will briefly explains the situation and after a bit of arguing, he tells them to make some calls and check if she's with a friend. Then he storms back to the gas station and thinks about the argument he had with his wife when she told him they have to split up. At that moment, Detective Patterson arrives. He asks a couple of questions and they enter the gas station to ask for the footage from the CCTV. Unfortunately, the cashier, Oscar, says the camera is busted. The detective then takes Lisa's laptop and heads back to the station. While waiting in the parking lot, Will spots the very same camera the cashier said is broken, but it turns out it's not. Then he furiously storms back into the gas station and questions Oscar about his lie. When the man keeps insisting on the same thing, Will found his actions suspicious and clapped his bum. Then he rips out the hard drive on which the footage is stored and takes it to the police department. Here they check the footage and we can see the mysterious man leading Lisa inside his car. But yet unfortunately again, a truck is blocking the camera's view right at the moment Lisa walks towards the black car. Then Detective Patterson invites Will to ask him some questions about him and his marriage. We learn from this conversation that the detective finds Will's actions suspicious and also that his wife cheated on him 6 months ago. Those types of questions quickly annoy the man and he asks if he's free to go. After that, Will heads to the Adams and thinks about his argument with Lisa once again. He shows them the footage from the CCTV and the old couple instantly recognizes the mysterious man by the name Knuckles. It turns out he's their handyman and he knows Lisa from high school. Anna also recalls seeing the car earlier that day while she was shopping. Will asks Anna where she saw the car and quickly heads towards the location. When arriving there, Will instantly spots the car parked in a yard next to a shack. He uses a crowbar to break through the fence and goes inside to investigate. He sees Knuckles packing inside and with no hesitation enters through the front door. After getting his bum clapped, he finally starts speaking. He tells Will he'll take him to a man named Frank where his wife is supposed to be held hostage. Then Knuckles got taped and thrown into the trunk. Unfortunately, yet again, a police officer pulls over Will for speeding on the highway and after acting suspiciously, the officer tells him to step out of the vehicle and open the trunk. Instead of giving himself up, Will runs into the woods. After a few minutes, he stumbles across an ATV and tries to steal it. Just at that moment, this huge guy is done pissing and comes out of the bushes. It turns out he works for Frank and asks Will what he's doing here and who he is looking for. After making up a simple lie that his car broke down and Frank expects him, the big guy gives him directions. A few minutes later, he finds Frank's place, which seems to be full of criminals. After some investigation, Will realizes he's in the middle of a meth factory. Meanwhile, Detective Patterson receives a call from the cop who stopped Will on the highway and explains how he ran into the woods and that he found Knuckles in his trunk. While wandering around a pickup, a man that's inside of it spots Will and tries to shoot him, but like the rest, He ends up getting clapped. In the next scene, we see the detective already on the highway questioning Knuckles. After walking around and searching for quite a long time, Will finally spots Frank and asks him where his wife is while holding him at gunpoint. Things quickly escalate and a shootout spreads, which results in Frank ending up dead. Meanwhile, Knuckles is being pressured by the detective and finally starts talking. What a great day this guy is having so far. He kidnapped her to demand a bribe from Will because he knows he has a lot of money. After abducting Lisa, he took her directly to Frank, but he got mad at Knuckles because he knew there were cameras and the police would be after him. He told Knuckles he had to kill and bury her, but after digging the grave, fear got the best of him and ran away. While searching for his wife, Will encounters the cashier. He turns out to be a part of Frank's crew. He demands $20,000 to tell him where she is. While they are arguing at gunpoint, an explosion occurs and Oscar dies on the spot. The detective then arrives on the scene to check if they buried Lisa in the grave. Knuckles was forced to dig for her. Will asks if he's under arrest but doesn't get a straight answer. It turns out the grave is empty. Meanwhile, Will hears banging from a shack and goes to check if Lisa's inside, and she actually is. The scene then switches, and we see the detective and Will chatting in front of the Adams house. Detective Patterson tells him that they've examined the bodies and they know some of them didn't die due to the explosion and were shot, but nonetheless lets that slip away and doesn't detain Will. The men shake hands firmly and wish each other well. In the final scene, Lisa seems to have finally appreciated her husband and they don't separate. If you enjoyed this recap, please consider subscribing and leaving a like as it helps the channel a lot. Thanks for watching and take care.